So Tom, let's get right into it. Take us through that night. It's August 15th, 1981, when Jon Dunkle attacked you. This was in San Mateo, California.
Right. And I was coming home from a movie on a Sunday night. It was about 11 o'clock. And I was pulling into the subdivision where my parents lived. I was living with them at the time. And as I came to the four-way stop at the entrance of the subdivision, there was this kind of creepy guy. I was on a little Vespa scooter, and this kind of creepy-looking guy was just sitting at the stop sign looking at me as I went by him, and didn't think much of it, just, went down to the next intersection and stopped at that stop sign and was about maybe a block and a half, 2 blocks from home. And I was maybe doing 20 miles an hour going up the hill, just accelerating away from the stop sign, and I heard a car coming up behind me fast, and I thought that he was going to pass me. And the next thing I knew, I was on the ground sliding, and fortunately, the taillight on the Vespa sits kind of a lot lower than a motorcycle, and where his bumper hit into the motorcycle, the taillight was able to support the weight of the bike and was resting on the bumper, and I was on top of the bike, and he continued to accelerate up the hill with me on the ground on the motorcycle. And he stopped, and the bike slid out, and I rolled a couple times on the ground and stood up. And
you stood up immediately?
Yes. And I looked at him like, well, are you going to get out? You just hit me. And, there's like this moment of reality that hadn't quite sunk in. And he was just sitting there staring at me. And I'm staring at him, and then he turned his lights off. And my first thought was, he's going to take off. So I, 19 years old, full of adrenaline, not very bright, tried to get my helmet off to put it through his windshield. And he started backing. I heard the car go into reverse, and he started backing down the hill. So I started running down the hill, shouting every threat and name I could think of to call him as I'm running down the hill, screaming at him.
So what are you thinking is going on at this point? In other words, were you thinking it was an accident?
Yes. I mean, it hadn't all quite registered, but your first thought is you give somebody the benefit of the doubt that it was an accident. And, that he came around the corner, he didn't see me, whatever. So
also, I mean, he hit you. You said you rolled a few times?
Yeah, I just kind of tumbled on the ground.
Weren't you, I mean, what were you thinking immediately when that happened? What were you feeling? I think most people would sort of be stunned and maybe not get up right away.
That's, again, whatever higher power was looking over me that night. Because from what, when it all came down, they said, you were lucky you got up. Because had you not gotten up, he would have run over you again. That was his MO. So, yes, the fact that I got up and confronted him, it was what saved my life.